Games that you'd like to see, the August Instant ones from Tennessee. You could scratch a blackjack for just $1, win 20 grand on a payday multiplier. Big Orange A's could take your cash even higher, but not like $1 million mega multiplier. That's no joke, these are the ones. The August Instant games that are tons of fun. Brand new from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun, just play responsibly.
14-12.
If you're wondering why I'm not big on hip-hop, well, that lottery commercial explained a lot, didn't it? I'm Marky Billson, Tri-City Sports Now. I'm hoping in our next segment, a big surprise guest. Got a 99% sure not good, but this is for race week, for the racing fans out there, this is a big one. All right, this is a huge, been on the show before. The surprise guest. Yeah, so there you go. So who could it be? In the news, national news. I don't want to say who it is, because we're 99% sure that we have her, but we're not 100. So there you go. I guess people are now not 100% sure that Jay-Z is going to be working with the NFL, because there's been backlash on both sides. Now, if you haven't heard, it's been, kind of spoken of. And to tell you the truth, I mean, in some ways, this is good. Okay, Jay-Z, I talked about this yesterday, the hip-hop mogul. He and Roger Goodell hold a joint media session at the Rock Nation offices in New York to seal a once implausible partnership that isn't being received as positively as both parties probably hoped. This is The Atlantic's Jemele Hill. Remember her? That's how she's writing it, and her take. Now, here's the deal. Jay-Z is going to have what is called significant power in choosing the performers for the league's signature events, including the coveted Super Bowl halftime show. So, I don't know. It would seem like if you had any hopes of... Now, I could be totally wrong on this. I have no idea what Jay-Z's feelings are for classic rock or whatever, but a lot of times, for instance, Super Bowl halftime show, it'll go down, let's say, and it'll be something like when The Who was there, or when Paul McCartney, and they were looking to try to do something to go away from, Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson and the wardrobe malfunction. Don't want that to happen again, right? Have you naked at the end of this song. It would seem to me, though, that Jay-Z would be a step towards that direction. Now, again, there's some positives here because, quite frankly, the Super Bowl halftime show should probably be more contemporary. To be honest with you. I mean, I love The Who. Don't get me wrong, when they were out there, I think that they're one of the... In my early years, when they would talk about the 3 greatest rock groups ever, be the Beatles, Stones, and they'd say The Who. Then Led Zeppelin started getting in there. And, I don't know. You're going to put Led Zeppelin in there. I really think you got to consider AC/DC. I've never been, and I guess because, I'm a child of the 80s and not the 70s, I never quite understood the fascination with Zepp. I just was sort of like, where is this song going again? What is this? Somebody once said to me, I'll tell you why AC/DC's better than Zepp. Because they're not as psychedelic. AC/DC isn't psychedelic at all. And then you get the Zeppelin fan, a real diehard that thinks, like, if you listen to their music stoned, you can see God or something. Just keep away from me there. Go away. No, it's funny when the song ends, where's the confounded bridge? But you, get out of there. Go away. I want to hear from you. But, reuniting Zeppelin at Super Bowl halftime show, probably not going to happen. I remember going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and they'd have a Super Bowl display, and they'd talk about the, the musical displays and all this. I know Kiss once did the pregame, but they never did the halftime. And that I thought was a bit of a slight. I would have thought that Kiss would have been good enough for the halftime show. Of course, Kiss is like a band because they're so commercialized that people just love to slight, all this sort of thing. But anyway, so Jay-Z will be, to tell you the truth, I mean, no, am I down with Jay? I'm not a hip-hop guy, don't get me wrong. But I got to tell you this, again, to repeat, probably is a good thing that the Super Bowl halftime show would be more contemporary. I'd still like to see AC/DC as a halftime show, but, that's me. I like AC/DC. Okay. And you'd probably like to see your favorite band there, But is it big enough? That's the question. But Jay-Z and Rock Nation will also help augment the NFL's social justice initiatives by developing content and spaces where players can speak about the issues that concern them. Interesting. And scratch your chin, because it seems like this, media wants athletes now to speak out about social issues, political issues, things like this, but only if it's on one side of the political coin. Do you ever get this? I mean, can you imagine right now, we're going to have, in 2 days, a stock car race in Bristol. It's going to be sponsored by the NRA. Now, can you imagine really an NFL player speaking for the Second Amendment? And I'm sure there are plenty that would. But can you imagine them doing it publicly, and then what would come about if they did? I mean, we're now getting to where the players themselves, when they hear that, our owner supports Donald Trump, they're up in arms about it. Now, this being said, let's see here. Jay-Z, and I wanted to go to Jamel Hill. There's been several, much written, listen to me, stumble over my words. There's been much written about Jay-Z and his relationship with Colin Kaepernick. He showed support for Kaepernick by wearing Cap's jersey on Saturday Night Live once. He had a song, and again, I'm not into hip-hop, so forgive me. I mean, I'm trying to listen to more contemporary music, but I'm just not going to get into, a song called, and we can say this, I understand youth wanting to be edgy. Hey, I wanted to be that myself when there. I used to, when I would listen to AC/DC, You're Into Evil, you're a friend of mine, I loved it, right? I'm the guy who criticized, Carl Torbush, give me a break. You're not playing, Hell's Bells for the ETSU Buccaneers to come out to anymore. Because that's too racy. I mean, that's when you're too old. That's when you're complaining about Elvis, swinging his hips. That sort of thing. But, question could be, when you look at some Jay-Z lyrics, which obviously include racial slurs, which, call, say, women whores, if not, and I'm going to try to, clean up the language right here, but biatches, I mean, you know what I'm saying right now. Is that the same, is that degradation the same as Elvis swinging his hips? Or, yes, even, if you're into evil, you're a friend of mine. But is there a fantasy element in that lyric in, say, AC/DC's Hell's Bells that make it kind of like a horror movie or something like that to be considered as part of a character, whereas hip-hop emphasizes keeping it real? Now think about that for a second. So this is one of the things that we look. And now Jay-Z once rapped in one of his songs, and I cannot even tell you the name of the song. Not that I'm, oh my goodness, there's a song with a name that can't be said on the radio. Let me say that it used to be, we had a different management on the FM side when it was a music station. I think I can say this right here because it was right there. That we would call a band, they would reference a band, the DJs, because I was a DJ at the time there. But there's the band, the blank, I better be safe on there. And you all know what this is going to be, okay? I think you'd say this to the FCC, but I just want to make absolutely sure. So if I sound too, candy ass when I say this, yeah, there you go. All right, so be it. But there's a band out there from the 90s called the B blank hole surfers. You know what they are, right? Okay, yeah. And you're probably saying, you can't say that on the radio. Well, you can, but I just don't want to have a meeting, okay? That's the thing. So, there. That's the way we're going to call it. They wouldn't even let us say that. They were the Surfers. That's not the name of the band. This isn't the Beach Boys here, okay? They're not the Surfers. They're the B blank hole surfers. If you want to be... Oh. Anyway. At least it wasn't the A. You get the idea. Yes. But there's a song, and in this song, whose name that I cannot say on the radio, but I mean, hey, that's fine. Okay, we're going to be edgy, all this, I get it. I listen to stuff like this when I want to be edgy. Once I said no to the Super Bowl, you need me, I don't need you. Every night we in the end zone. Tell the NFL we in stadiums too. Now, that rapper is in business with the league. Now, to tell you the truth, I don't think this is the worst thing in the world, that this is the line in a song, and he's going to be doing work with the NFL. I mean, I think that they talk about this as a diss rap. I think it's kind of mild as far as diss raps go, to be honest with you. Anyway, Nessa Diab wrote on Twitter that Kaepernick didn't speak with Jay-Z before he brokered his deal with the NFL. Jay-Z said yesterday that he spoke to Kaepernick on Monday, but wouldn't divulge how their conversation went. A source close to Kaepernick, according to Jamel Hill, speaking on the condition of anonymity because of the sensitivity of the topic. Is this really that sensitive? Told me it was not a good conversation, according to Jamel Hill. Question. Why should Colin Kaepernick have the final say on whether or not the NFL does business with Jay-Z or not? Now, we can, like I said, discuss, is this the guy they want to go into business with? Because, and Phil Mushnick said this 7 years ago, and he caught a lot of flack for it, and I thought it was flack that he shouldn't have received, where he said, this is a guy that is now being embraced by the NBA, owner of the Nets, this sort of thing, and listen to his songs. Do we really want to make racial slurs mainstream? Do we really want, and even if they are, do we want to approve of them in this manner? Good question. I would say no. But I really want to know why so many people these days are just absolutely, oh no. And Jay-Z, I mean, he used to be down with Colin Kaepernick, and now he's in with the NFL. Kaepernick is, sending workout videos saying, look at me, NFL, look at me. Why would he want to deny then Jay-Z working with him? I don't quite get it. I do also wonder, though, the direction. I mean, if you're going to be having the platform, is Jay-Z the person, former drug dealer, that you want working with players to speak out with social justice? And again, what does that mean? Does that mean if there is a future football player from, I don't know, Fall Branch, and just to, say, what's a political issue that would be over on the right? Say the Second Amendment. No. Do not take away our guns. Does he get the same billing as, say, Kaepernick did? A lot of what Kaepernick used to say, and if you read some of the tweets, things that just did not add up with criticisms of the police and such. I mean, I really had a problem when he would say, there are bodies in the streets. Well, look, I know about the shootings in Dayton. I know about them in El Paso. Horrible tragedies. We did a segment when there was a shooting in Pittsburgh because that synagogue that got shot up was in my old neighborhood, and I knew people who were members of that synagogue, and I had them on to explain what it was like. The Arkansas broadcaster, Phil Elson, Arkansas Sportscaster of the Year, according to NSMA, was bar mitzvahed in that synagogue. You want to tie it to the SEC? We'll go. We're there. I get it. So we will talk about issues of social justice on here. But again, is Jay-Z the person that you really want to be that bridge? That's the question I think that needs to be said. So I think they're both sides now are sort of saying, Jay-Z, NFL, really? And I wonder how far this is going to go. Tri-City Sports Now. Am I going to have on a very special guest next? Find out after this.